Wow, they have inflated the prices again. Pathetic. What are these ice manufacturers doing? They are disgusting. So many of you are in the market looking for an electric car or electric scooter, and you have three options where you can buy your EV from. You can go to an EV trader, you can go to an EV focused startup, or the big ice. So let's talk about the EV traders. Now these guys sell their EVs only through dealerships, and these dealerships are sprouting all over India. And these dealers usually get their electric scooters from large OEMs who either manufacture or assemble them at a centralized location anywhere in India. And most of these EVs are dumb scooters. So this means they are mostly disconnected vehicles. The drivetrains are not hugely software driven. Just forget about getting new features via software updates, and also forget about remote monitoring. You won't get any of those. And here is the important point. They perform worse compared to even ICE scooters. So usually the EVs from these traders, the batteries, they source it from either manufacturers, and some of them make their own battery packs. All in all, these EVs do a decent job to take you from point A to point B. But definitely, yes, they are saving you a huge amount of money than using a ICE scooter. So here are some companies that come to my mind who sell EVs via EV traders. There are some companies in this list that are doing some R&D, but I feel that EVs still have some way to go in terms of offering a real EV experience. Next, you can buy an EV from an EV focused startup. And these are new age startups which are tech focused, and these startups are creating world class EV products right here in India. And you can actually get a very great EV experience using one of their products. The software-driven drivetrains, check. Regular OTA updates to give you that Diwali morning feeling, check. Remote monitoring and alerts, check. Strong EV tech expertise, battery management systems, controllers, check. World-class performance that will blow away their ICE vehicles, check. So these products will definitely delight you in your everyday ride. But there are certain issues that they are facing. One of them would be providing the vehicles, the electric vehicles at a large scale. The second would be that they will not be available pan-India. Also, many of these startups, we have seen that they are perpetually in an investment raising mode. And here are some companies that come to my mind who are EV-focused startups, and I love them all. So these companies are classic examples of the vibrant Indian startup ecosystem. And they're giving us world-class solutions, and we're really lucky to have these EV-focused startups as part of our EV industry. So now let's talk about the big I's. And nowadays you can actually get an EV from a traditional auto OEM too. They have been selling pollution vehicles for a really long time, and a lot of the people blindly just follow them because they've been there for so long. They also have a strong lobby in the government and will oppose to any major changes that will be coming in their way, which will be hindering their business. So for example, the government of India in 2019 wanted to impose a mandate that all petrol two-wheelers lesser than 150cc should be sold with an EV drivetrain to help deal with the air pollution problems. But these auto OEMs ganged up and ensured they opposed that regulation. So these companies are not interested in transitioning to the electric vehicles, and they are involved in the delay EV movement and are happy to keep selling polluting vehicles because they don't really care about the pollution in your cities or even about the Indian oil imports. And that's why the EV community thinks that they are the big ICE mafioso. And yes, some OEMs have launched some token EVs in their portfolio. And here are some companies that come to my mind when we talk about EVs and are part of the big ICE. So if I was buying an EV, would I buy an EV from an EV trader, or would I buy it from an EV focused startup? Or would I do the unthinkable and consider an EV from the big ICE? So first of all, I will rule out ever never buying from a big ICE manufacturer, because the first reason would be there is no EV focus during servicing. The minute you go to a service station, there would be so many ICE vehicles, because many of these traditional auto OEMs sell a lot of ICE vehicles, right? So when you go there, you will realize that you will never get the right attention, because there will be so many other ICE vehicles and you'll be the only electric vehicle standing in that service station. These dealerships make huge money from servicing ICE vehicles, and they don't make the same money from electric vehicles. So get ready to be treated like a third class citizen. So I have really experienced the same, and so have many people from the electric vehicle community. You can read Atulji's article on his experience at the Tata dealer servicing his Nexon EV, and the link is in the description. So secondly, you will never get a true EV experience. So what is a true EV experience? A electric vehicle that is self-aware, it is intelligent, and it is software driven, it is connected, and has remote monitoring features. Also has excellent EV tech features like BMS and controllers. And many of you think these are gimmicks, but from our 10 plus years of using electric vehicles, we don't agree with this. And an EV, a smart software and top class EV tech features are extremely important to deliver a real electric vehicle experience. Traditional auto OEMs are not good with their EV softwares and the technology they're using, and that shows in the mediocre experience the electric vehicle owners are experiencing. Now the third reason, and this is the real reason why I will never buy an electric vehicle from a traditional auto OEM, is that the big guys keep playing games with the EVs. So the focus of these OEMs is actually to sell pollution cars and two-wheelers, and they make huge money from the spare parts and the servicing of these pollution vehicles. And EVs are a real disruption to their business. So when they launch token EVs, they inflate the price of their EVs to ensure they are more expensive than their ICE counterparts. So here are some examples of what I just spoke about. Bajaj has launched the Chetak and used to sell it at 1.2 lakhs in 2020, and later used to sell it at 1.5 lakhs. Once they got their subsidy, they inflated the price back to 1.8 lakhs, essentially eating government subsidies and not passing on benefits to consumers. The TVS 2 is doing the same thing with the iQube. So the second example, Mahindra launched the E2O Plus P8 and sold it for 11 lakhs, and they sold the E2O Plus P6 at 8.5 lakhs, both highly inflated. Thirdly, the new Tigor EV, which was priced at 12 lakhs, and we know that the price of the 26 kilowatt hour battery pack should not cost more than 4 lakhs, especially as Tata procures cells at bulk. And we also know what the price of the power electronics is. So the Tigor could easily have been priced at maybe 7 to 8 lakhs. So looks like they don't want to disrupt their ICE business. There is a ICE Tigor, ICE Altros, and ICE Nexon there, and they all are within the same range of 7 to 10 lakhs. So why would you give money to big ICE? These companies are taking public money which was meant for the benefit of Indian consumers, and this is a criminal offense in my opinion. And it's also the definition of greed, because they don't care about the oil imports that India is doing, or even the pollution these ICE vehicles are creating, and it is an absolute problem for all of us. Now you know why I will never buy an EV from a big ICE, and even you should not. So will I buy an EV from an EV trader? No, I won't buy an EV from EV traders. The issue I see here is that most dealers appointed by the electric scooter companies do not offer good service. In many cases, these dealers are happy to make sales but have no aptitude nor interest in offering service to customers. So this is a big problem area, and I would rather get service from a professional EV startup than some businessman dealer guy. I'm not saying that all dealers are bad, but there is a terrible inconsistency, and this has to be addressed very soon and improved. So that leaves me with EV focused startups, and these companies have EVs in their heart and soul. Their products are awesome and they want to create disruption and want to sell EVs. You won't find strange games, artificial price inflation, and other anti-EV policies here. Having said that, there is an inherent risk with these startups? Will they last? Will they make enough sales? So always look at who are backing these startups or the venture capitalists and the founders, and do they have a long-term vision? So do your research, and if you like what you see, do buy an EV from an EV focused startup. And yes, I will buy an EV from these companies only. So when you buy an electric vehicle, will you get one from big guys or the EV focused startups, or will you get it from an EV trader? Do write in the comments below. We would love to hear from you.